Hello, this is cjhoyle. In this video I'm going to attempt to do 3 minor repairs to my Linear Limo recumbent bike. I recently made a video about this bike where I showed all the things that I've changed on it in the last 2 years, and I also showed 3 minor things which are currently broken on it. The first thing is this front fender here, which is cracked and there's a piece missing. The second thing is this accessories bracket here, which normally used to be fastened up there. And the third thing is a minor rip in the fabric of the seat here. So the first job I'm going to tackle is replacing this front fender here. I've got another one to install in its place. So my first step is to remove the old one. There are 3 bolts, one here, and another one up here. So I'll take those out first. These ones down here just use a Allen key. So before I install this fender onto the bike, there's some assembly required. So these metal rods will attach to here and connect to the inside of the end of the fork. So in this spot where the holes are, these little plastic brackets get slid over top there like that. And you can see there's a hole in the end there, and that's where the metal rod gets inserted, like so. And then you tighten up the screw and it holds everything in place. Alright, so we'll insert this through here like that. Now this new fender did come with its own fasteners, but I'm deciding to use the existing ones that I had on here. And the reason for that is mostly just because I know that these ones work, and also the ones that came with it had Phillips heads as opposed to Allen key heads like this one, and I much prefer this style. There's no slipping when you have an Allen key. Alright, so there's that front fender successfully installed. My only complaint with this is that there's quite a big gap in here. And the problem is these brackets here are not length adjustable. There's no way for me to move this further in because this rod is already, in this bracket as far as it can go. My only solution would be to cut this shorter and then put it in. But I think I'm just going to try it like this for now and see how it works. If it seems to cause me any problems with the cranks or the pedals getting in the way and coming in contact with the fender, then I'll certainly do that in the future. But I'm going to try it like this for now. So that first repair is pretty straightforward, but this next one here is going to be a bit more challenging. So this thing here is an aftermarket accessory, and it came installed on my previous Linear when I bought it used. And I installed it on this bike when I built this bike, and it's been really handy because basically it allows you to mount accessories that you would normally mount on your handlebars, but because this bike has underseat steering, it's much more handy having them up here than below your seat. So I've used this mostly for mounting my Garmin GPS unit up in here, but you could also mount other accessories like, front headlights and things like that as well. So basically what happened is this piece pivots down here and the metal broke off there. And as far as I know, this thing here is actually not specific to recumbents. I'm pretty sure this is designed to go on a conventional bike, and this piece here is supposed to go at the top of a threadless headset. And that's where it's supposed to go, and I guess the idea is for a conventional bike, it just gives you a couple of extra spots to mount additional accessories. Now in my experience, having this thing on a pivot here is kind of useless because, I kind of always kept it in this position here, and having it sticking out like this obviously is what caused it to easily break off there. Before this thing broke, it had actually been bent a couple of times as well. So I was kind of expecting this would eventually happen, and I'm thinking rather than, replacing the bracket or sort of trying to rebuild it exactly as it is, I think it would be perfectly okay if this bar here was just sort of rigidly attached to this bar down here, and I could still have my accessories here, and I wouldn't need to have them, sticking out here at the end of this pole. So we'll start by removing this old cap here, and then I'll show you what I'm thinking of doing for replacing this. So let me just quickly show the method that the previous owner of this accessory used for adapting it for being able to install it onto a Linear. Like I said before, this cap is actually supposed to be at the top of the headset of a threadless headset on a conventional bike. But what they did was they took a long, I believe it's a 1/4 inch bolt, and they stuck it through there, and there's this thick piece of rubber that they have a hole going through the middle of it, and on the other side they have a T-nut which they've jammed into the back side of the rubber. And the idea is that when you're tightening this bolt here, it presses the cap up against the rubber here, and the T-nut presses it on the other side, and therefore it makes this rubber sort of expand inside that hole there, which wedges it inside of here. Now, it's worked relatively well. Like I said, it's relatively rigid. The only issue, though, I found, which is not a huge issue, is that anytime that you need to take this accessory on and off, it doesn't really want to come out very much, because I guess when you take the pressure off here, the rubber doesn't really exactly return to the shape that it originally was in. So not a huge issue, but I've got a different idea of how I'm going to install my replacement for this. So I'm a big fan of these Miracle mirrors. I have one of them installed on all my bikes, and I actually made a video a few years back demonstrating how to install one of these onto a bike. What I like about them, among other things, is how they attach to the handlebars here. They use a piece that looks like this, and basically the whole thing gets inserted into the handlebars like this, and by tightening on this bolt, what you're doing is you're pulling this separate piece here in this direction, and what happens when you tighten that is this part and this part sort of get wedged up against either side of the handlebars. And basically it makes a really strong connection. But if you ever want to take this accessory back off again, you just loosen the bolt and press on the end of it, and it comes out very easily. So my idea with this is to use something very similar to this and insert it in here like this, but then on the top of this, rather than having this L-shaped piece, I'll just have this existing tube here, and it will sort of go here in its place, and I'll get rid of this extra bar that's on here. So my plan is I'm going to take this tube here, and I'm going to drill this hole and this hole bigger so that I'm able to pass a bolt through there like this. And then, of course, that bolt is going to thread into one of these pieces here that comes from the Miracle mirror. And I have lots of extras of these because when you buy these mirrors, they come with two different sizes of this piece here. And this is the bigger of the two sizes, and most bikes that I have end up using the smaller size, and I always save the bigger ones for whatever reason. So I've got lots of these that I can use. And so basically, like I said, this is going to come through here like this, and it's going to go into here. But in between these two pieces, I need to make another piece that will kind of join them together. And for that in-between piece, I've got this piece of underground plastic sprinkler tubing, and it just so happens to be a really good fit inside this tube. So my plan is I'm going to use this for the filler piece. So I'm going to start by cutting off this threaded end here using my bandsaw. So next I'm going to add a notch to this end of tubing here so that when these two things are pressed up against each other, there's no gaps, and having that notch there will also stop this piece from spinning. The way that I'm going to create that notch is I found a hole saw which has the same outside diameter as the tubing there, and I'm going to drill into the end of this like this, which will create a notch in the end. So I've got that hole saw chucked up inside my drill press here, and there you can see the piece of plastic tubing which is held into my drill press vise, which I have rigidly clamped down to the drill press table, and hopefully this works. I've never tried doing this before. Seems like it worked pretty well. So it looks like I may have gotten this just a small amount off center, but really that doesn't matter to me. And what's most important is that this thing is like a perfect fit. Really couldn't have asked for a better fit than that. So I'm just going to clean this up with a file. So I drilled one of these holes just a little bit bigger and the other side much bigger, and that's so that the head can go right inside there like that. And then, of course, this piece goes on the end there like that. And that's all that's left now is to cut the other end of this at an angle so that other plastic piece can go right here. All right, so let's try this in here. So that gets inserted in there like that, and then I just need to tighten this up the rest of the way. And of course I can decide how far in or out I want to have this. I'll just leave it a little bit sticking out like that. I just sort of get the angle set where I want it, and then I can tighten it down the rest of the way. And now I can mount my Garmin GPS unit on here again. And this other side here is free if I ever want to install any other accessories on there. And as you can see, this is held on there extremely sturdy. I'm really happy with how this mount turned out. It's always great when an idea that you had in your head comes together exactly the way that you imagined it would. The other bonus with this was that I was able to build it using entirely things that I already had at home. I didn't have to go and buy anything. So last but not least is to patch this hole here in the fabric of my seat. And I've already done quite a few repairs to this fabric over the years. So I've already got some material which is a really close match to the original. So all I really need to do is cut a patch out of here and sew it on there. But to make it easier to be able to access this area, I'm first going to remove this whole fabric piece from the seat. Alright, so there you can see the hole that I need to patch, and the simplest way to do this would be to just cut out a square of fabric here and use a needle and thread and sew all the way around and put that patch over top of that hole. If I do that though, if I just simply cut that patch out, the edges here will continue to fray as they're already doing here, and I think that patch will end up being very messy. There'll be sort of stray fibers sort of all over the place. So since I have a sewing machine, I'm first going to go around my patch and do a zigzag stitch, and that should hopefully clean up those edges and keep them from fraying over time. Now before I go any further, let me just quickly say that I'm certainly no expert when it comes to sewing. I'm very much self-taught and I'm still very much a beginner, and some of the things that I'm going to do are probably not the exact right thing that you're actually supposed to do when you're sewing. But the reason I decided to include this in the video was to just show you that you really don't have to be an expert to do simple fabric repairs at home. So there's my completed patch. It's not exactly pretty, but it should do the job. So I made this thing here from an old stick of deodorant, and the idea is that I can stick it inside of the seat like this and place it over top of the hole, and then I'm able to put my patch on top of there, and I should be able to sew around this without the needle coming in contact with the other side, which should make things a little bit more easy for me. Alright, so I've got that patch temporarily held in place with these two pins. Now I just need to sew around it with my needle and thread. Alright, so I ran my needle and thread around here a total of 3 times, so that should be really nice and secure. It feels pretty strong anyways, and it should do a good job of covering up that hole and stopping it from ripping any further. I have to say, this thing really helped me a lot. I've done other patches on this seat before, like you can see here, and what would happen before is the needle would go through, and because I'm not that skilled, sometimes the needle would catch on the other side here, and of course every time that would happen you'd have to sort of pull it back through, and having this thing just really made life a lot easier. I'll be honest, this is not the most beautiful thing that you'll ever see for sewing, but it should be functional, and like I said, it should be nice and strong and should do the job that it's intended to do. So I've got that seat fabric now mounted back on the bike, and with those 3 minor repairs complete, this bike is now back in tip-top shape with nothing else left for me to fix on it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed following along with these repairs to my bike. As you can see, some repairs can be very straightforward, while others require some planning and some thinking to solve. When you're solving problems at home, don't be afraid to think outside the box to come up with the best solution that you can do with the skills and the resources that you have available. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.